guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm here with Maisie. This is my leopard gecko. But today we're going to talk all about Chahoua geckos and my first impressions on keeping them and working with them as a whole, caring for them, handling them, etc. Because I've never worked with Chahuas before up until about 3-ish weeks ago when I rescued Arlo, the male Chahoua gecko. The reason I got Arlo was because I rescue, if you guys are unaware, I rescue and take in animals. I'm in a rescue called Crimson Exotics. Our website's down in the description, so if you are interested in possibly getting on the wait list to potentially adopt Arlo, it is in the description of my YouTube channel, and you can click to the website and he should be on there in the available animals, and you can apply to adopt him, and you just have to give us some information about your care and your experience with other animals and where you plan on keeping him, etc. It's pretty easy to fill out, and then we should be able to respond to you if you are a potential owner, or if we will deny you if something's wrong, or we might give you advice, etc. But with everything being said, we're going to jump in and I'm going to talk about my impressions on caring for Chahoua the past 3-ish weeks. So before I rescued Arlo, I was absolutely not interested in Chahuas at all. I knew I would never keep one. It was kind of the same for gargoyles, leachianus geckos, etc. I'm just not a big New Caledonian gecko fan, I've realized over time. I do have my New Caledonian gecko, Ace. He's a crested gecko and I really enjoy owning him. I would never get rid of him for the world, but I just realized that with owning him, they're just not like my preferred category of species that I'm interested in. So before I got him, I was just like, oh, I'm probably never gonna, care for one, since they're not super common to even, most people can't even find them to buy when they're fully interested in getting one, let alone me, who's not super dedicated into the species, and I also rescue. So I was just like, oh, I'll probably never, work with one or anything like that. So I didn't really have a huge opinion going into owning them. But when I got him, I was genuinely terrified of him. I don't know why. I think it's because they're similar to leachianus geckos, and leachies are very known for being feisty. Even chewies, they're just known for being feistier and kind of more unpredictable than a crested gecko, or they just tend to be a little bit more unpredictable, and it's harder to know their behaviors and mannerisms and what they intend to do because they can kind of just switch. So I was really nervous getting him in. So when I got him, the lady told me that he can be a little bit sassy at sometimes, but she said that overall he was pretty good with handling. So I absolutely left him alone for 4 days. Getting him into his enclosure was the easiest thing ever. He literally was on a piece of wood and I just set the wood in there and he just waddled in. I don't know where Maisie's trying to go, so I'm going to put her back. She seems like she wants to explore, and I don't have the patience for this right now. So I absolutely left him alone for 5 days, and then I did want to get a few other pictures of him, and he was eating and he went to the bathroom and everything, so he wasn't stressed at that point. So I took him out and I still had him on his log. I was really excited to handle him because he looks like moss almost. He's really, really cool looking, and I just assumed the texture of his skin would just be so insanely cool, and I was correct. It is really cool. So when I originally took him out, I was just so scared because it's basically a crested gecko, just a lot larger. So when he would jump, he could jump much further, and he's also just very large, and especially the fact that they can be a little unpredictable. I was really, really worried that he would just launch at me, at my face, but he was actually very, very chill when I took him out the first time, which I was very surprised, especially for the fact that at that point, the lady said she was really not giving him that much attention for the last few weeks up until when she rehomed him to me. Well, obviously he hadn't been handled for at least 2 or 3 weeks, so I was really nervous, but he did really well, and I got a few photos of him and I just put him back. I didn't really want to work with him too much yet because he was still pretty new, and I was also still quite nervous, and I was like, you cannot go into handling a new species nervous because they can read that, and then that just makes them more nervous, and you're just more prone to having something end up happening. A few more days went on and I ended up actually taking him out. I did have gloves on the first time I took him out on his log, and they were literally do I have them in here? No, I don't, but the gloves that I handle my frogs with, the thin spandex gloves, they wouldn't have done anything if he ever bit me or anything like that, and I wasn't worried about being bit. I don't know why I put them on. So I took him out with nothing on. I took him out on his little wood cork piece, but then he ended up leaping off of it, and he is so insanely cool, guys. He looks like a little Muppet. He is just the cutest. He's one of the most unique, interesting geckos I've ever seen. I've never seen a Chahoua in person, and I don't really before I ended up, realizing that I was going to end up rescuing him, I didn't know anything about them. I didn't really watch any videos, and since they are uncommon, there's not many pet tubers that I watch that really own them. So when I was doing research with that, or like finding more and more about them out before I ended up obviously rescuing him, I wanted to make sure I had a lot of knowledge on them, even though I knew kind of their basic care. But they were just so cool. I was just like, they're just really, really cool. I'm not a New Caledonian gecko fan, like I've mentioned, but he is really, really cool, and I'm really excited to see his new owners fully be dedicated, because like we've had multiple people be interested in him, but they ended up backing out for whatever reasons. But like, just the setups they can go in is just so insanely cool, and their faces are just the cutest. They have little like bug eyes. They are so cute. It was also really reassuring when I did handle him that he wasn't fast, he didn't try to bite me. I did only handle him for probably 3 to 5 minutes, and I've only handled him twice now. Since they aren't the best with handling, I will say, they are more like the occasional animal you can take out. I'm sure that could change, and it kind of depends the gecko itself, and I haven't owned him for months and months, so I don't know his exact behaviors or anything, or like his patterns and what he does before he would even bite if he ever did try, or jumping away or something like that. But he's been very chill the past 2 times I've handled him, and he completely changed my perspective on him, and it kind of gave me a new look at New Caledonians, because, you know, aside from my crested gecko, I've handled gargoyles, I've seen like lychees, but I've just never been really interested in them. Yeah, it just gave me a new look because they're so interesting. They can go in like much larger enclosures than crested geckos can be in. The amount of dedication people put into their bioactives, like I don't think I've seen someone put so much effort into a bioactive for a species. The amount of like people on Instagram and like Google that I've just been kind of like seeing and talking to, they just put so much effort into their enclosures for their chewies, and it's so insanely cool, and they're really fun to look at, and I appreciate that a lot. In conclusion, I really like Chahoua geckos. I think that they're absolutely awesome, and I can't believe I was saying that, because like when I originally got him, I was like, oh no, I'm scared of him, I don't think that I'll really like him or anything like that, and I was even scared to just touch him. But now he's just absolutely awesome. He's a really, really fun pet. I will be passing him along for the fact that I really do enjoy him, but I don't have the interest in him that I know someone could, and I just personally, you know, you can't keep them all, and they're just not a really species that I want to keep long term. He is very fun. I would love to get in another chewie in the future and work with them, but I personally will not be keeping him, which is why if you guys are interested in adopting him, you can again check out the website. He's a really, really great gecko, and he's really fun, and he's a full adult, so he won't be getting any bigger, or at least shouldn't be. I will not be talking about any care in this video. I probably should have mentioned that earlier, but since I've owned Chahuas for such a short amount of time, and I was pretty new to them care-wise before I ended up getting Arlo, I don't feel comfortable giving any care out. When I researched for like 6 months before I got my blue tongue skink, and then I owned her for an additional 2 months before I even started talking about her on my channel. So yeah, but with everything being said, he's such an amazing gecko, and I really, really recommend Chahuas to people that are interested in the species. They are so He's just a great gecko, and I am just very grateful for his personality and being able to work with such a chill Chahoua gecko for my first time caring for them. So yeah, that is it for the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I'm so sorry yet again about my camera dying. I just am terrible about charging it, and I need to get better at that. I also wanted to thank you guys so much for being able to have me reach my watch hours. I just appreciate you guys so insanely much. You guys are just amazing. Yeah, so I will see you guys next time. I love you so much. Peace. What you missing?